I hope you guys are doing well. It is very hot here in North Idaho. I just came in from weed whacking and I am trying to rehydrate. So I'm jumping on here to chat with you all. I can see some of you are on here. How are you all doing today? What is your temperature like in your neck of the woods? Yep, I need to do something real quick here. Okay, sorry about that, but I had to respond to somebody. Otherwise, I would have kept trying to get me. It was the mountain boy. So, oh my goodness, how are you guys? I don't know if anybody is... Aha, Miss Jane is on here. Okay, I wasn't sure if things were working right or not. Nothing was coming across my screen. Oh my goodness, I'm sure Miss Jane is inside and hunkering down at this point in the day. It is very warm here in Idaho. Right now, it's 100 degrees in the sun on our outside thermometer. Last night, however, yes, it is hot. It is hot, hot, hot. Hi, Miss Shelley. Yesterday, it was 110 degrees in the sun on our thermometer, and it was 110 degrees until 6 o'clock last night. It was crazy hot. It was crazy hot. So I was actually just detoxing. I was weed whacking, and I was weed whacking like I do concrete with a bandana around my nose, because every time I weed whack, stuff shoots up my nose. It is like, it never fails. So I put a bandana around my face, had the big glasses on, had a hood on with it tied shut, flannel no less, because I get like welts all over me because our yard is not yard yet. Our yard is debris and rocks and sticks and garbage and dog poop and everything else mixed in there. I'm trying to tame it and fill in holes and make it nice. So it's a bit of a project, and that's just the safest way for me to do it. So I just got an extremely good detox in, which is wonderful. Now I got to hydrate. So let me see here. Miss Jane says, but I know, but starting tonight, thunderstorms and 66 tomorrow. I know. Is it not insane? It is so crazy. This weather is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, all last week it was damp and cold. I was wearing sweaters. I have some winter clothes upstairs yet, and I'm like, this morning I took my winter coats out, and I'm like, should I take the sweaters out? I'm like, no, it's going to be 66 again tomorrow, so I might need a sweater. Is that not crazy? It's so crazy. Good afternoon. Well, good morning, maybe, Mr. Keith. How are you doing? Oh, I'm so glad you guys are all on here today. So what are you guys up to? How are you doing? Any praises? Any prayer requests? I have a praise. Mountain Ben joined us. For those of you that are not familiar with Mountain Ben is a dear friend of mine's son who lived with us for 3 years. So he's kind of like one of our adopted sons. We've had quite a few that have lived in our guest cabin over the years. So Mountain Ben is one of those, and he had moved to Washington. He's farming with family up there, but he took a escape this weekend and came to visit us. So we were treated to ice cream, which was really, really nice, because our favorite ice cream place, which is of course organic ice cream, is up along a really huge lake, and it is just a really pretty place. So we enjoyed ourselves. We also got to go antiquing a little bit, and I was like super stoked. I'd show you guys what I got, but I can't because Mountain Ben took it with him. But if you guys are familiar with the cast iron waffle irons, there's two pieces to it. You've got the piece that opens up that you put your batter in and you make the waffles in. And then you've got a base, a cast iron base that actually catches grease and drippings, and it has like a rim that comes up on it. Well, I found one that has a really ornate handle. It's really pretty. And it needed good cleaning up. And Ben is putting together a bath to clean a lot of his cast iron, so he took it with him. I paid $5. I was so stoked because I have the waffle iron, but I couldn't find the base. I was piecemealing it because I found the waffle iron really cheap too. So now I think altogether I probably paid like $15 for my waffle iron. And if you go on to like a place like eBay, they're like buku bucks. So I was totally stoked about that. And the guys found treasures. So it was a good time. It was a very, very good time. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Oh, Jane says her favorite place. Yes, it is a wonderful, wonderful ice cream place. Jane will have to do that one of these days. Not to mention the fact that we went for a walk around the lake. For those of you that have been following me for a long time, part of my healing process was spent around that lake. I rode my bike around that lake, and I walked that lake a lot. That was part of my detox, and my form of exercise was riding and walking. So I spent a lot of time up there in like 2016, 2017 in the summertime. So, well, in the fall too. So that was a really good time. But one of the great highlights you guys have heard me talk about too about this lake is that it used to be a railroad track. And because of that, people would throw their apple core and their pear and the plums and all their stuff out the windows. Well, there's all kinds of wild, I say wild because nobody even harvests from these trees. There's plums, there's apples, there's pears, there's raspberries, there's huckleberries, there's cranberries around the lake too. So I love going up there and being able to forage things. And of course, that'll be later in the year that would be able to forage those. But right now, there was a tremendous amount of medicinal and wild flowers growing up there. So I want to go back and get some starts. I need to take my shovel and my little bag and go up and get a bunch of the plants up there that I can transplant into my bed out here. So I was like super excited about that. I love doing that kind of stuff. So let's see here. Miss Shelley says, I'm waiting impatiently for some of the results from the blood work I had done last week. These are the two that will tell me if I have the condition the OBGYN thought I had. I'm sure, and I totally get that. You know, it's the anticipation, and it's also the answers. Those answers can help you progress. So totally get it. And I've been praying for you, and you have come to mind so many times today. So I lifted you several times today in prayer because I know when my friends pop in my mind, they need prayers. So Jane said, it's hard waiting for results, hopefully soon, and it's good news. Exactly. And you know, sometimes waiting in God's timing is not the easiest, but it is the best, and there's always purpose in it. So as much as it's a pain in the neck, I'm sure there's purpose in it all. So you'll get your answers, but we are praying for you. And I have another praise. I'm going this week to look at a place with the mountain boy. It would be a room that he would be sharing. And we also have another lead, thanks to Jane, that I'm going to follow up on. But it's looking like we will have something that he can move into here in the next, even next week. So God is good. Oh, and I got to share this with you. I told you the Jeremiah Johnson story last week, right? So they took the information and they submitted it with the original report that was put in on this fella. Well, he messaged me again, and I was trying to keep the communications open so that he wasn't on to us knowing what he was up to. And I just said that we had a family emergency, which we did at the time. I didn't fib. Nothing critical, but he didn't know that. And I said I'd get back to him. And then this morning, I get a message from him, and I thought this was just hysterical. He told me I'm wasting his time. And I was like, are you kidding me? Who's wasting whose time? But I thought it was really funny. Have you guys ever had... I had this happen one time too, where a sales call called me and I kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. And they wouldn't stop talking. So I hung up, and they called me back and told me I was rude. I'm like, it just takes a certain type of person for those situations. So anyway, I'm praying for the fake Jeremiah Johnson because he definitely needs some prayers. But beyond that, life is good. We've got lots of homestead chores. I was weed whacking and trying to prettify our yard. I did wash today and got water. And so I said about homestead chores as part of today's topic because and it doesn't just, you don't have to have a homestead. We all have chores, right? I mean, I know all of us are doing things. I'm just curious what your day-to-day stuff is. I know Miss Jane has her garden in the backyard, so she's been working on that. And of course, with Miss Jane, she has to do that in the early morning hours. So we have to like work around the heat and sometimes our own illnesses and the weather. I mean, there's constantly shuffling and change in our day-to-day process. I don't know about you guys, but as much as I have a plan, I also don't have a plan because it all depends on so many different things. And I do like that my days are spontaneous that way as a result of that. But it's important when it's this hot to make sure that you're, excuse me, that you're doing things in a healthy way. You know, like I said, Miss Jane, I'm sure she was out there way early. I was up and out and going. I had my wash on the line by 7. So, and that I had to go get water first. So I was moving early also. However, it got hot pretty fast today. So, and I will probably, when I'm finished here, go back out and finish weed eating. Lucky for you guys and for me, it ran out of string, or I probably would have been late. So I was on a mission. I'm also trying to go around the containers. I mean, soon I'll be able to bale that, but I'm going around the containers because we want to stack our firewood there on the side of the mountain man's toward the lane away from the woods is where we're going to stack our firewood, because if there would ever be a wildfire, that way our wood would be less likely to catch fire and we wouldn't lose our hoard of firewood that we've been harvesting. Right now we've got a lot of firewood, and I'm giving a huge praise for that, because when we can work on our daily chores and do things that continuously set us up, like one of the things I work on periodically is cutting fat wood into tiny pieces so that I have it for this winter, and all we have to do is fill a bucket and bring it in, and we don't have to be out there in the cold chopping it. Not that that's a problem, but it's nice to be ahead of the game. It's nice to be able to eliminate some of our day-to-day chores by working ahead. So that is how we roll and how we do things. And so the firewood, the fat wood, those types of things, and getting my bees early in spring here so that I can get them going and get them set up for a good winter so that they have lots of honey for themselves and will be good to go. Let me see here. Shelley says, unfortunately, a positive result would be good news, and then I will get some direction as to what is next. If I have it, it's not a bad situation. It just explains how and what I feel like. Exactly. Exactly. Shelley says, I think that type of person is wired backwards, or they think that they are better and that their time is more important than others. I know, that was so crazy. It just makes me laugh when I deal with people like that. I'm like, wow. It's like, how do people think? Good afternoon, Herbert. Welcome. Shelley says, I have done some gardening and I moved our bed and vacuumed up all the cat hair under there. I also found a carcass of a mouse. Yuck. I just cut the roast up so I can make jerky tomorrow. Very nice. So you're always moving too. It's like you're always preparing forward, which is what we've been really preaching for the last 11 years, is trying to get people to understand the importance of preparing forward, but also taking care of yourself through the process, and also using your homestead chores. Like for us, our homestead chores are our workout. Like I said, I mean, I'm soaked from just weed whacking out there because of how I did it, and also because of the heat. And I am doing that intentionally. It's something that could have been done earlier in the morning, but I'm doing that because that is going to help me to heal and help push things out of my system. So there's always a method to the madness, and I'm curious if you guys have the same type of method to your madness, to your gardening, to your day-to-day, to your chores. Herbert just got home from work. Awesome. Awesome. I'm sure it's hot where you are. What are your temperatures, Herbert? Herbert, are you affected by all of the border stuff that's going on down there? I imagine you probably are. We have a woman that is in the Bible study with us whose son is part of the Border Patrol, and she has shared that what we hear on the news isn't anything compared to what's really happening down there. Just made me think of it because Herbert's in New Mexico. So there are lots of links down below also, so I don't forget to mention them. And I will have a bunch of links for you guys on Thursday. I'm going to share with you guys all of my herbal and medicinal books as well as my foraging books because it's such a great time. Mountain Ben and us were out hiking yesterday morning before it got hot, and around here we are just so surrounded by medicinal edibles and herbs. I'm just so excited about that. So I've been really making note of things. Some things are being transplanted into my herb garden, so they're close. Occasionally, the state, we are surrounded by state, and occasionally they do spraying. We've asked them not to back here, but I don't like taking chances. I like knowing that my things that I'm foraging are safe. Okay, so you're in the 90s, Herbert says. Yeah, yesterday was 110 here in the sun, and today it's 100 in the sun. So it's probably in the 90s here today. But yesterday, man, it was hot. So Jane says, I have my routine and I stick to it. Otherwise, I spin circles and accomplish nothing. Okay. And sometimes you have to. And, it all varies on our individual makeup as well because, we all think differently. We all process things differently. We all handle things differently. So I totally get that. I do have my calendar filled with everything that needs to get done. It just may not get done in the same order it's written in. It just depends how things roll. Shelley says they are talking about opening up the borders between the provinces up here this week. My brother has been in another province through all of this. He is looking to return to the island by winter. Wow, that's so crazy. So crazy. Now, I know in New Zealand and in the UK that they weren't allowed to go from town to town for a while either. So I think things are starting to open up pretty good. It's just crazy times. But you know what? There's going to be a huge revival in our country, and God is in control. God's got it. And we know where our strength and our power come from. You guys have heard me saying that over and over again, and I'm going to keep drilling that home because that's one of the greatest blessings we have. And I truly believe, I don't know about you guys, but have you not seen so many more people speaking out on their faith and sharing their faith? And I just see that so much, not only on YouTube, but the people around us, people we run into, people I communicate with. It's been pretty awesome. So, there's a lot of doom and gloom that we could focus on, but like I've been sharing with you guys, that's not the way we need to do things, and that's not what we need to focus on. So I wanted to remind you guys of the foraging webinar. You can go to prayerwilderness.com/foraging webinar. And then Father's Day that's this coming weekend. So if you are looking for something for your fathers, a unique thing that is available to you is Dayspring's Christian items for men, and they've got a lot of them. And you can go to prayerwilderness.com/Father's Day. Doing forestry work from... Sorry, guys, I got a call, and it always uses my screen. Wow. Are you enjoying that so much more, Herbert, than the construction? I imagine you might be. It's hard work, too. Both construction and forestry work is hard work. What did you say? You're a sawyer. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you're running along the sides of the mountains. I don't know what you do like it better. It keeps you outside probably a whole lot more than your construction did, maybe, depending what you did. With our construction business, sometimes we're outside, but a lot of times we're stuck inside. And I totally get the enjoyment of being in the outdoors. But that's some hard work. Do you have a lot of mountains there in New Mexico, or are you sawing on flat ground? Because, man, we watch some of these guys. I mean, that's the industry out here. So to see the guys doing some of the work they do and cutting on the sides of these mountains, plus having that machinery and using that machinery in some of these places. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you're in the mountains. So you're running along the mountains, sawing these trees by hand. You're going to get a good workout and get yourself in good shape if you're not. I imagine you are if you're already in construction. So Jane says everyone is feeling the uncertainty, and I'm happy faith is being talked about. Yeah, and you know, that's what I thought, Herbert. Good for you. That's some hard work. And you need to make sure you're drinking enough. I'm sure you're soaking wet right away in the morning. That's a tough job. Good for you, but I know they pay well. But yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty in everything that's going on in our world. But you know what, guys? Focusing on the positive, focusing on the gratitude, focusing on the good things in your life will change your life. You know, we have the ability to create our own environments. And even when everything's crumbling around us, we have the ability to create our own environment. And that is what I am doing. I want to share something with you guys. I burn, let me see if I can find it. I think it's back here. Yep, it is. Okay. So, you know, we're off grid. I'll share links with these, the ones I got with you guys on Thursday. But I've been checking out, sorry. I've been checking out some of the solar products because I love burning tea lights, but they burn up so fast. I burn tons of them. So I got these solar lights, and they are really nice, super, super nice. And, you know, I'll put them in my lanterns and different things, like I'll show you. This lantern here actually was another find that I found this weekend. And it's made for a tea light. It's missing the piece on the bottom, but that would hold the tea light in place. But that's actually okay because this is bigger than a tea light, but it fits perfect right there. So, you know, this in the lantern, there. Let's see if I can get it to light. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that. No, but yeah, I'm not going to be able to show you. I don't think. Nope. All right. But anyway, these are cool. These are really, really awesome, and they're not very expensive. They come in a set of 5. So I get these, and I put them in the windows in the morning so that they recharge, and then at night I stick them in my lanterns and in my I have like a little chimney and different things. And that way there's lighting in here, and kind of like a night light, but I've always burned candles. So this is a much more cost-effective way to do it. And I also got these, which are the same thing, and they're made to hang outside. Both of these are made for outside. They both have dusk to dawn buttons on them. So you can put these, you know, if you hang them outside, when it gets dark, these will go on. So I have a couple of lights, solar lights out at the fire pit now, and I have some out at the bees. That way I can keep an eye on them. Like I said, we don't typically have bears coming in here, but you never know. So that way I can see. But those things are so cool, and I'm so impressed by them. And they're not that expensive. The lanterns came in a set of 4, and tea lights came in a set of 5, but I will share those with you guys on Thursday. Let me see here. Good evening, Miss Carol. Herbert, we will be praying for you too, because that is one dangerous job. So we will be praying for you. But I'm glad you're doing something you're enjoying, that you enjoy doing. Shelley says there are only 2 guarantees in life. If you are born, you will most definitely die. The uncertainty is what happens in between. Yep, exactly. And you know, you've heard me say it over and over again. You know, when we focus on the negative, we draw more negativity into us, and I don't want that. So my life is spent in celebration. I love life, and I have a good time, and I, you know, roll. When things happen, I just keep rolling. You know, you can't change the circumstances. You can't change propane tanks laying on their side, spewing propane. You can't change the stuff. You can try to prevent things, but stuff happens, and it's always going to happen. It's not just in this set of uncertain times. There's always going to be stuff. Our cars are going to break down. We're going to get a flat tire. And you know what? It's such a cool thing when you hit that place where stuff is happening in a negative way and you just roll with it and you're totally unaffected. That's where I'm at, and it's just such a joyous place. You just keep rolling, you know, and you just keep moving forward, and it just makes life so much nicer. I used to be in the other side of that, and I know what it feels like, but I'm not there anymore. I also wanted to share something with you guys today. Carol, how are you doing? How is your garden growing? And we were talking about day-to-day chores, and do you keep a good schedule, or is your day spontaneous? And how hot is it over there? Oh, wow. Oh, she says that Lorenzo's poorly. He has a temperature of 38.3 and then went up to 39. Poor boy, been not good at all. Finally, 11 p.m., he started to cool down. Oh, my goodness, that's terrible. What is your weather like over there, Carol? Is it hot as well? It was 27 today, too hot. Yeah. Oh. Did he see my video? She messaged me and said he wasn't doing well, so we need to be praying for him. We need to add Lorenzo to our prayers. We need to keep Bobby in our prayers. Bobby, I got to look at my calendar quick. Bobby's hearing is this week. I think it's on the 15th. And we have other prayers that we need to be lifting as well. Yeah, Bobby's hearing is tomorrow. So we want to be lifting Bobby in prayer. We will definitely be lifting Lorenzo and Shelly. Jane, how are you making out with all your stuff? Have you gotten any answers? Yeah, Bobby's hearing is tomorrow. Yep. I did, but he was out cold. I will show him when he wakes up. I'm sure he will send you one back. Poor little guy. That's terrible when they don't feel good and there's not, you know, you have to just wait for the fever to pass. But I'm glad it's breaking. Jane says, poor little guy. Hate it when they're ill. Yeah, I know. Touches the heart. All right, we got Melissa on here with a praise report. I found a good contractor to do some work for a fair price, which is a blessing. Awesome. There you go. We'll be praying on that so that it goes smoothly and quickly and you're all taken care of. That's a huge praise. Awesome. Carol says he's so active. Then when he is ill, it floors him. Oh, I bet. And it's so sad to watch them. They're so little and just unable to do anything. So I remember those days. Robin, Miss Robin has joined us. Just back from taking Pippin to a river beach. There you go. We've been wondering about you, sister. We wondered how you were doing. How is your garden going? Have you been able to get somebody to till your garden? Shelly says, how old is he? Could he be getting some molars, which can cause them to be very sick? I think he's 4, right, Carol? Melissa says, also urgent prayer request. My friend Katie's daughter had a stroke during giving birth. Urgent prayer for mom and baby. Oh, wow. How old is the daughter? We will definitely be praying. Definitely be praying. Shelly, he has a viral infection. He was 3 yesterday. Oh, he's only 3. He's pretty big for 3. And we will be praying. That's right. For some reason, I was thinking his birthday was the 13th. So that's right. It was. It was the 13th. And I sang to him on Thursday. So that was right. I did have it right. You're confusing me, Carol. It doesn't take much these days. Good thought, though, Shelly. Melissa says, and then she was having seizures. I believe her daughter's mid-20s. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Well, we will definitely be praying. How is the baby? The baby's okay? Robin says, no help tilling. I'm only doing watering for others who can dig and plant. Share watering, sharing, picking. Okay. Well, there you go. So you worked it out. You worked it out. You improvised, adapted, and overcame. How are you feeling, girl? We've missed you. Going to do greens and sprouts inside. Well, you're good at that. You've had good practice on your windowsills, so that'll be good for you. And your health is better? How far do you have to go, Robin, to do your watering? Is it real far from where you're actually, where your house is? Carol says, I hate it when they are ill and there's nothing you can do. I know, it's so sad. They just look so tiny and helpless. Melissa says, thanks. Baby is at Denver Hospital. The mom is at a different hospital. Oh, such a shame. I hope they can, do they have any idea what's causing things? Thank you, Carol. Carol says, poor girl, Melissa, sending healing prayers. And that was Katie's daughter. Okay, I got to write these down if I don't forget. Does anybody else have any prayer requests? Because they need to go in my prayer journal. And we need to really lift these people. And like I said about Bobby, guys, for those of you that haven't heard, Bobby is a young mom who has really been taken over by our system. Because of COVID, things are not being researched the way they should have been. And she is just, there's so much lies and deceit, and the truth needs to come out. So we need to really pray that things get brought to light tomorrow, and that she is, her name is cleared and everything is given back to her. It's a really, really sad situation. So we need to pray for Katie's daughter and baby. All right. And thanks, Melissa, for sharing that. All right. Robin, carry water, no spigot, like 500 feet with 5-gallon buckets. Hard. I'm sure it is. But you know what? That's going to bring re-strengthen you. And do you enjoy it, though? Because for me, even though things are hard, I'm always like enamored that I can do it. That is the key thing, that we are able to do it. And as we do it, we progress and are able to do it better. So, you know, it's our building our bodies back. And that's, for me, that's what I have been doing for a bunch of years, but this year especially. Don't know more information, but Katie said they're just thankful they're alive. I'm sure. Well, we will just continue to pray a hedge of protection and healing around them. And thank you for sharing that. And I'm glad you got your contractor. Shelly says, daughter-in-law put this on her Facebook yesterday. Everything is going great while reading fairy tales until this little girl threw up in her mouth. It was an ew moment. That's funny. Yeah. It's always interesting. You never know what's coming next with infants and toddlers. So it's always an interesting ride. Shelly says, we'll be praying for them, Melissa. So are the kids out of school in your neck of the woods? I know some of the schools went back, and I'm just curious if kids are out for the summer yet. It's coming soon. Mountain Boy has one more class. He passed his 4th class on Thursday or Friday. I think it was Thursday. So giving great praises for that too. School's out in your neck of the woods then, Jane. Okay, so yeah, it's going to get interesting. When we went for our ice cream, you know, we leave here and it's quiet and peaceful and there's no people, and we're thinking about it that it's prime season at the lake. We get up there and there's hardly any parking spots and there's people everywhere, but there was music in the park, and it was a nice atmosphere. It wasn't the kind of like city crowd that I run from. Yes, Jane says, yay, Austin. And so does Carol. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so excited. I know it's really just awesome to see what's happening with him right now. It's really very cool. I want to share more with you after I go check out this house with him, and also try to connect with Jane's friend to see. Really, renting an apartment right now is out of the question with Austin not having a job, and I've found 2 other scams after good old Jeremiah Johnson. So I'm kind of burned. I'm tired of looking, and it would be really hard to get an apartment right now. The prices of things are so high, and these kids, even the one that's wanting to, you know, was needing housing, he's already living with Austin now, and he's needing housing. it's just the rent is just so high. These kids can't afford it. You know, they're schooling, and it's really grueling work and hours, and they're trying to be devoted, and they're trying to work, and it's just crazy. So I think through this opportunity that Austin found, we may be able to provide housing for Nathaniel too. So pretty excited about that, but we're going to have to just see. I've got like 3 days here that I want to get things wrapped up. And when I go up to visit him, then I can bring his stuff back with me that he doesn't need and get him hooked up. So not bad, but I got more stories to share. I'll just share it when I know more. So we were supposed to have all restrictions lifted on the 21st of June. Now they put it back a month. Are you having more COVID cases? Is that why they're doing that, Carol? It's crazy. What's it like in your neck of the woods, Keith? Kyman's schooling ends in June. Okay. Yeah, so it's that time. So summer's coming. So what kind of plans do you guys have for your summer months? Jane, I was so excited. I found a $30 water trough or a cattle trough, but by the time I checked to see if it was available, it was already gone. For 30 bucks, I imagine so. But I was ready to put that out in the middle of my herbal garden and fill it with water. So Shelley says Austin is really doing good with his schooling, and he is showing the autistic community that they can thrive in society in a big way. Yes, for sure. Have a nephew with Asperger's. Yeah, you know, these kids just need a chance. It's no different than anybody else that, you know, has a disability, has an illness, anything. You know, people are just so quick to not give others a chance. But man, when we give people a chance, there's so much opportunity for them to thrive. And that just excites me. I've just been really excited to see the things that have been transpiring. Carol says they say we are, and new strains, but if you go on government health website, we are lower than the average death rate a year. So where's the pandemic? Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Excuse me. Jane says they work great. I paid $70. The grow bags were, ooh, excuse me. So I want to read something to you guys. I love the grow bags. I'm going to be getting, I think, 5 of them in a set. Good deal too, she says, and going on the 3rd year. Those grow bags they almost look like a plastic type burlap. Is that right? Like a burlap with some kind of coating on it. I don't really want the plastic, but I love the idea behind it. And we have a bunch of old burlap bags, which will allow it to breathe and the moisture to be in there. So I think that I'm going to be planting some of my things in there. And my tomatoes and my peppers survived. At least one of my tomatoes. The other 2 are still looking a little sketchy, but I think I'm good. No COVID here, Tammy, because we never allowed anything GMO into New Zealand. Yes, sir. I know Germany was that way too, that Germany was not allowing our food into their country. You know, there is so much to be said about non-GMO food and genetically modified organisms. So, yes. Hey, Miss Toika. She says, just a quick pop in and out. Just wanted to check in. Thank you. How are you feeling and how are you doing? And we're glad you're here, even if you're only here for a brief moment. You know, also, guys, I wanted to ask you to also pray for Kelly and Mike and Courtney because they are walking this out with Bobby, and I know that they will need comfort of prayer too. So keep them in prayer for tomorrow as well and today. Everybody's showing Toika the love. Jane says, mine are fabric. I've got a big round one too. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. I would like to do vertical tomatoes and also strawberries in our greenhouse. I love it. Everybody's checking in on Toika, so I'm glad to see that. Melissa says, I just got some grow bags on the way. My garden revived. More to come, I hope. Awesome. Isn't it fun watching things grow? I just love that. And my bees are so busy. I am like so excited about that. So excited about that. So I am going to read this to you guys here. Melissa says switching to the TV, but still listening as I clean. No worries. That's okay. I want you guys to keep up with your chores, your homestead chores and your chores, because I'm always listening to things when I'm washing dishes or outside in the garden. It was impossible to do that today when I'm weed whacking because the thing's so loud. But that's awesome. Listen away. We're totally good with that. So let's see here. Proverbs 12:1. Whoever loves instruction loves knowledge, but he who hates correction is stupid. There are two kinds of criticism. One, unfair criticism. There will always be people who love to rain on your parade, people who try to build themselves up by tearing others down. Mark Twain said, keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the really great make you feel that you too can become great. 2, constructive criticism. Solomon said, like an earring of gold or an ornament of fine gold is the rebuke of a wise judge to a listening ear. There's a major obstacle you must overcome in order to reach your highest potential. What is it? Our natural reluctance to discover anything unflattering about ourselves. When you erect defenses against your inadequacies and try to hide your faults, you close the door to a vital source of self-knowledge. And in doing so, you deny yourself the joy of growing. Every one of us can improve what we're doing or the way we're doing it. In fact, if you're still celebrating what you did last year, you're not making enough progress this year. After winning his 3rd world championship, instead of having a big celebration, bull rider Tuft Headman moved on to Denver to start a new season, the whole process over again. His line of reasoning was, the bull in Denver won't be impressed with what I did last week. Whether you're an untested rookie or a veteran, if you want to be a champion tomorrow, you must be teachable today. Or, as Solomon puts it, whoever learns from correction is wise. I wanted to share that because, you know, so often when people receive correction or somebody shares a different way of doing things, sometimes we're really apprehensive to try it. But over my years, I really enjoy when other people share their input. Keith has been sharing so much valuable input in some of the things we are doing here, and so have some of the rest of you. And you know, that information is so accepted. We're so excited to have people sharing how they've done things and the different things, especially in other countries, because oftentimes other countries are ahead of us. I've noticed. So it's always interesting. Plus, people are doing things and experimenting and doing things for years. And experimenting with things is a really great way to do things because you learn a lot with that. If any of you watch The Boss of the Swamp, you know he experiments a lot in his greenhouse, and he shares his wins and his losses, and he shares that with everybody so that people can learn from him. But I love how he experiments, and I just want to encourage you guys as you're doing all these unique things, because many of you are, Shelly's doing her beef jerky and drying things in her solar dryer. So is Jane. Jane's got her garden going. Robin's got her garden going. Carol's got her garden going. We're all learning to improvise, adapt, and overcome. And as we learn things, it's vital that we share it because, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always very thankful when somebody shares something to keep me from making the mistakes that they did. It'll help me to progress faster and move forward faster. But we have to be willing to listen to that, and we have to be willing to accept it and not feel somehow violated by it. Oftentimes when you correct people, they feel like they're being violated. And it's really important that we learn how to accept correction, accept guidance, and also be willing to share what we know as well. You know, sometimes we keep ourselves... We keep our lips sealed instead of sharing things that we could share that could advance someone else. So I just thought that was a really good one. And I also liked what the bull rider said, being that the mountain man was a bull rider and knew tough. You know, what you do today, other people may not recognize tomorrow. We need to keep moving forward and keep ourselves in a progressive positive and productive motion and keep our success rolling. And I liked what Mark Twain said too, because that's a huge thing. So often we surround ourselves by people that bring us down and don't allow us. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I can't wait to see, because I see all kinds of funny comments coming across my screen. But a lot of times we surround ourselves with people that bring us down and keep us from reaching our best selves. And I have that experience, and you know, sometimes you can't walk away from those people. And what you need to do is learn to be able to let their, because like it said, people like that are small. Yep, it says, Mark Twain said, keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but really great make you feel that way too, like you can accomplish and become great. So, you know, sometimes we are surrounded by people that are naysayers and maybe in our jobs or whatever, and you can't necessarily walk away from them, but we do have the ability to let their words roll off and understand that they are little-minded people, and the best thing we can do for them is pray for them, you know? The more we pray for people, the more God can work in them, and the more chance they have to progress from their small place. But it is small people that put us down and want to belittle us and don't want to see us grow. So don't be that kind of person. Be somebody that's going to inspire and nudge and really help the other people around you. All right, I got to get on here and see what you guys are saying. Jane says, Melissa, you will love them. I think they are the greatest invention. She's talking about the planting bags. I'll keep you all posted. Yes, going to plant herbs, etc. I overplanted my kiddie pools, so transplanting some. Well, there you go. You can always sell too if you have too many and you don't know where to go with them. You can always sell them. People like to be able to get good starts from somebody. Jane says, I planted my parsley in old teapots. I love that. I love that. Shelley said, it's so hard not to plant. I have to watch what I put in the ground also, Melissa. That's funny. That would be us too. Shelley says, that would look really good, Jane. I have so many pots that I have kept that I reuse to keep the herbs out of the garden bed, and it's easier to move them if they do not do well in that spot. There you go. Yeah. And being able to relocate them. Jane says, you must be related to Lorenzo. Oh, that's funny. Yes, Lorenzo liked to plant, and plant some more, and then water. Jane says, I worked with that for years, just ignored and did my job. Yeah, and you know what? That's all you can do, because really, if you get to the same point I am, when you see people that are doing that, I feel sad for them. Their words don't hurt me anymore, but I feel sad for them because, you know, obviously somebody rained on their parade and now they don't know anything else but to rain on someone else's. And their focus is on negative instead of positive, you know, so just keep killing them with kindness. That's what I like to do. I always did that when I waitressed in my younger days, and when there were negative Neds and miserable people, I would just continue to kill them with kindness. So what are your thoughts on what I read? Are you someone that accepts correction and is teachable, or are you a little harder to teach? And are you a teacher? That's the key thing. Are you a teacher? I love it, Shelley. Yep, I call them negative Neds, and she calls them negative Nancys. Yep. How many of you guys, when you were growing up, did you hear people doing that where they would, you know, like negative Nancy? So the N from negative, you would choose an N word for the Nancy. It was just funny. It was like everybody around me was always doing that, and I always thought it was funny. And what was even funnier is the mountain boy didn't get it. So he would come up with something, and it didn't match, and it was always funny. Let me see here. Jane says, my ethic was far above, and I watched many sink. Yep. Yep. And you know what? We've got to be able to condition ourselves to work around people like that. Keith said, I traveled the world as a hobo for many years, met a lot of fast women, slow horses, and some pretty good dogs. So you saw all kinds of people, I'm sure. So what do you guys all have planned for the week, and what are you doing for Father's Day? Are you doing anything special? I think we're going to go for more ice cream. We try to get up to the ice cream place a couple times a summer. They're only open from like Memorial Day to Labor Day. So I think that might be something. The other thing we're doing is we're looking for kayaks. If we can find some that are inexpensive, that would be something that we would thoroughly enjoy doing. And we're trying to work lots, but do new fun things. And that would be something that we would love to do. So Jane says, always accepting of help or advice. I'm a teacher. Awesome. Yeah, me too. Growing up, because of how the help was provided to me, I really struggled with it because I was always told that I was worthless and never going to amount to anything. So when help was provided, it was because I wasn't doing it their way and my way wasn't good enough. And it was a weird way of being taught. It wasn't a kind way of being taught. But the beautiful thing is, I think we talked about that on Thursday. We have the ability to change from generation to generation. And isn't that a beautiful thing? So I took what I didn't like about my childhood and changed it with my children. And I love being corrected. And I love taking advice from other people. But I also love teaching and being able to share what I know and help people carry on things. You know, there's so many skills that are being lost because of people not passing it on. However, it's really nice to see that the homesteading and those types of skills are really coming back around. But even so, there's still skills that have been lost because of just lack of being passed on, which is sad. You guys will love the books I shared this week on Thursday. Let me see here. We are going to my son's house for Father's Day, stepfather's birthday. It will be really nice to see granddaughter again, I bet. And you'll be able to hold her this time again. So how nice. Shelley says, we told that also. I was told by school counselors that I would be barefoot and pregnant by the time I was 16 as I was being raised by a single mom. That is terrible. Oh my goodness. Yes, there's just been so many things that have been spoken. But the thing is, so many of us have become overcomers. I don't know about you, Shelley, but when people told me that I couldn't and that I wouldn't amount to anything, it was the fuel that my fire needed, because I wasn't going to let them be right. You know, not this girl. Jane says, just saw one. Do your research, though. Walmart cheap ones are not calibrated and can become dangerous in currents, etc. I'll send you text on one I saw for sale here. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was looking on Facebook Marketplace today to see what I could find. Also, when you're purchasing in season, you're going to pay in season prices. So another little tidbit of information is to be sure that when you are purchasing things, if you are able to, purchase them out of season, because you'll find great deals on them that way. Jane says, let me know what day you're going for ice cream. I will certainly do that. And like I said, that'd be kind of a fun spot to meet you. And it'd probably be about halfway for both of us we could meet. So that would be fun. I would enjoy that. But yes, yes. But I am going to prepare to jump off of here, because I am on a mission to get the rest of the yard weed whacked, and I got to go dig out the string and get it all done, because later this week, my project will be bringing out firewood that is already cut so that it can be stacked. So we're preparing, and I know you guys are all preparing, and just continue to prepare forward. Focus on your day-to-day, focus on planning ahead and preparing forward. I shared with you guys before when we were in Georgia for almost a month for my illness, and we came back and I was flat on my back for almost a year. We never went without food. My canning shelves were full, and our freezer was full, and our woodshed was full, and it was a huge blessing. So we've experienced the rewards of our lifestyle already, multiple times actually. And maybe some of you have also, but if you haven't, it's so much greater to have more than you need when you need it than not enough or none. So keep preparing forward, keep focusing forward. And if you guys have recipes, summer recipes for your fresh vegetables, I saw Miss Jane shared about her rhubarb. So if you have recipes you want to share, I'm continuing to put together the Trayer Wilderness Family Cookbook. So be sure to go to our community page and share your recipes. And if you're not part of our community, you can go to trayerwilderness.com/community. Let me see here. Shelley says, whoop, I went to university as they thought I would not be able to go very far in life. I may not have finished, only having 4 courses left, but I was not going to be able to use it for work anyway. Yep. And Keith says, your family and mine would have been great friends, so I moved to the other side of the world to get free of them. That's okay. We moved to the other side of the country here to get rid of them. So at least give myself some space. So 2,500 miles was good. So yes, I hear you. And you know what? Sometimes you have to walk away from the negative and toxic people in our lives. And sadly, sometimes it's the ones closest to us. But I pray for them. I pray for my family all the time. I have actually rekindled a communication with them because I feel God nudged me to do that. So, but the beautiful thing is, as we are doing in our Bible study, you can set boundaries and learn how to keep toxic people in your life, but at a limited amount. And sometimes, like I said, sometimes you just have to walk away, and that is a sad truth. But you make your efforts and sometimes you just have to do that. So I totally get that, Keith. I totally get that. And you know what? Sometimes in those situations, we are so much better for it. I couldn't have healed in the toxicity that I was experiencing. So, yeah. Jane says, oh, I forgot to post. I'll do that this week. No worries. I know you guys are all busy, but when you get a chance to get over there, please do that. Love from afar. I have a few of those. Yep, and it's okay. And those are the good, you can still communicate, but you're not infested by their toxicity. And that's truly very important. In order for us to thrive and succeed, sometimes you do need to sever those ties or learn how to set boundaries or cope with the things that you've experienced. I'm very grateful in my life that God has been present all the way through, even though I may not have personally had the same relationship with him that I do now. He was there. I just needed to get my butt out of the sand, right? But I look back on my past, and there's not one thing that I regret, and there's not one thing that I wish would have been different, because it made me who I am today. It gave me the perseverance that I have today, and it also gave me the coping mechanisms that I have today, and made me a powerful prayer warrior and a very strong person. So it's all perspective. You hear me say that all the time. But if you do struggle with overcoming things that you have experienced, there are some great books for that. And I will make a note to share some of that with you guys on Thursday, because there are some fabulous, fabulous books to help you learn to overcome. And one, of course, is the Bible. Forgiveness is huge. We've talked about that in the past, but I'll share books with you guys on Thursday on that too. So I've got some good homework. Shelly says, I really need to can 3-bean salad this year. All last year's is gone. I know my chili sauce has been gone for 2 years, and it's like we're dying to have it. And we use that to cook our meats. We use it for chili. We also use it for salsa, and it is just so, so good. Okay, awesome. Jane says, I'm waiting for my cabbage to do sauerkraut. Oh, yum. I absolutely love sauerkraut. Your little cabbages look cute. Jane shared her garden with me. You should share those pictures in the community. And Robin, Miss Robin, you should share your pictures in the community also. I'm sure that your garden, and I'm sure that through gardening, it's helping you to heal. But I'm glad you got on here. I don't know if you're still present or not. Shelly says, I made some winter slaw with my cabbage. Yum. I know, right, Jane? Maybe she's taking care of Lorenzo. I always wonder about Carol when she gets quiet. She's either up to something or something caught her attention. So Jane says those are 45-day cabbage. Shelly says winter slaw is coleslaw pickled. Ooh, yum. That all sounds good. Now you're making me hungry. When I think of coleslaw, I'm thinking of a Reuben or a Rachel. Oh, good. Miss Robin's still here. Okay. And Melissa says, another praise report. My stub toe healed quick and good. I know he cares about those small details, and I'm thankful it healed fast. Yeah, we need our feet, right? Yes, please share some pictures, Robin. And I'm glad you're on here. And next time we Zoom, which will be the 30th, but it may not be 10:30 in the morning. I'm going to just pay attention in the community for the exact time, but it will be the 30th. It's Wednesday. We're going to Zoom. And Robin, you need to share the item that you were working on our very first Zoom. You were making that headpiece for yourself. And I know Jane and others would love to see it. I use winter slaw with some mayo for tartar sauce for fish. So good. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. That sounds so, so good. You know, the Mountain Boy got us hooked on using mayonnaise in our chili instead of sour cream. We could if we had organic sour cream. I could, but he can't do the dairy, so we stopped using that, and he started using mayonnaise, and oh my goodness, we're all hooked. Mayonnaise is one of those things. I'll never give up mayonnaise, and I will never give up butter. Okay, Robin says, yes, finished it. Okay, well, yes, we would love to see it. Jane says, Reuben, daughter needed corned beef for a recipe, $23 for 2 pounds at the deli at Walmart. Oh, I'm sure. I haven't had a Reuben in forever. And then the Reuben has the sauerkraut, and the Rachel has coleslaw in it. Right, exactly, Shelly says. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. So like I said, guys, things are going up in price, so make sure that you're preparing forward and stocking up as you can. Yes, they are, Miss Jane. Prices are rising. So prepare forward, guys. Get what you can. Like I said, it's an investment. It is not a loss. It's an investment. So pay attention. Pay attention to your prices. Pay attention to the store shelves, and stock up on the things that you enjoy most. Well, I'm going to say a prayer and let you guys get back to your day. I'm going to try to remember all of our prayers here, and then I'm going to do a global just in case I forget, because I don't want to forget anybody's prayers. But like I said, it's a little hard when I'm doing this and I don't have them all written down in front of me. Plus, when I close my eyes, I'm dependent on my brain. So Papa, I just thank you for this time. I thank you for these individuals, our friends, our family, our community here. And I just thank you for what you're doing in it. Thank you for blessing each of these lives in varying ways. And I just thank you for being present in their lives. I just want to lift up Melissa's praises and thank you for healing her toe and taking care of her construction needs. And we just ask that you continue to keep things rolling there with her construction project. We lift up Bobby and Kelly and Mike and Courtney to you. Just be with them tomorrow, guide and direct, and just be present there, and just may the truth be known and revealed. And I ask that you be with Melissa's friend Katie, her daughter. Just be with her and touch her body, heal her body, help them to get answers, and be with the new baby. And be with Lorenzo, just touch him and heal him, and just be with Carol and the family as they take care of him. And be with Toika and Jane and Shelly as they're trying to get answers. And be with Robin, help her to find somebody to help her in the garden and to make things a little easier there for her, but also just strengthen her body and heal her through this process. And thank you that she could join us. And just be with everyone with all the oddities and the uncertainty going on, and just help us to be able to continue to focus on you. Help us to redirect our negatives to positives and focus on the gratitude in our lives, and just make our world and our little box a pleasant place despite what might be going on around us. It doesn't mean naivety. It just means to relieve stress and give us a happy life while we walk out the uncertainty and the ups and downs of life. And I just ask that you be with all the other prayer requests and just guide and direct everyone's lives and keep them safe and healthy. Be with Herbert while he's sawing, and keep him safe, and just keep everybody safe in the heat. And just thank you for all that you do and all that you're going to do. We love you and ask all this in your holy and precious name of Jesus. Amen. And housing for my boy. All right. Well, guys, take it easy and be safe in the heat if you're dealing with the heat, and then if you're dealing with the frost and the frigid the next day. Jane and I'll be dealing with 66 degrees tomorrow, so another fall day in the wilderness, which is okay. I mean, it certainly is a nice break. The heat gets to be much, but so crazy. But I love you all. If you're new to watching these, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we are putting up new videos, and also when we are live. And be sure to like and share and comment. That helps us to reach more people just like you. And right now, I believe there's a lot of worried, scared, and hurting people in this world. And if we have the ability to reach them, it would be such a blessing. Jane says, amen, and yes, you are in our prayers. No, thank you. Thank you, thank you. And I will be on Thursday, so I will see you guys then. I'm going to share all kinds of good books with you. Oh, Miss Carol, I've got to jump off. I'm glad you're back. How is Lorenzo? Were you taking care of him? We prayed for him, and we'll continue to pray for him. But guys, have a fabulous rest of your day. And I will catch you guys on Thursday. And I encourage you, if you haven't, to join our community, trierwilderness.com/community. I've been busy working tomorrow on the cooler temperatures. I'll be working on some of the classes. So, sorry you missed things, Carolyn. Sorry I got to jump off. Catch the replay. There was some good funny stuff in there, but good educational stuff too, I believe. And Jane says it's a secret. But anyway, I love you all, and we'll continue to keep you all in prayer. Have a good rest of your day. God bless.